Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. It's me, Joey P. With me today is the Welsh, of course. He is back. I'm sorry, I'm in a haze of trying to help my children pack for our trip to Florida. And Welsh, you've got kids. They're a little smaller, your kids than mine. So I'm not sure if it's easier to just pack for them when they're little or to supervise them packing as like almost that preteen age. I don't know. I'm not sure which is more stressful. I gotta be
do it yourself. Do it yourself. That's the way to do it. Don't give them any future life skills. Just do it all yourself, so it inconveniences you just a little bit. Florida sounds like quite the trip, Joe.
Oh, it's going to be. Well, look, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been on a proper vacation in, 3 years. So I'm looking forward to getting on a plane with them and really doing that. That's going to be good. So Welsh is going to hold things down next week while I'm not around for a few days with a star-studded group of friends, as always. So you got Bogman for 1 day. Is Bubba doing the other one? Is that what's happening?
No, we got Bogman for 2 days, and then we got Bubba for 2 days. So we've got the super friends that are coming in.
Super friends. I love that. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Glenn, I am coming to your house. So I'm going to stop over, hang out there. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida. By the way, Welsh, did you pick Ohtani last night? I'm trying to remember if that was your selection.
Ohtani was my leftover. So I'd love to take credit for it. But he was my leftover on the sheet after he absolutely murdered that ball at what felt like actually 11 p.m. my time. So I don't know. Were you even awake when Ohtani was doing that business?
Completely not. I woke up this morning and I saw the highlights of it, and they were very impressive. And more on Ohtani a little later on the show because we're going to examine those odds again. But let's get at it. So Ohtani was incredible. 2 homers, 8 ribbies. He's pitching today. Again, here we go. We talked about the number as it fluctuates as it moves. The number is as high as 5-1. More on that in a second because there's been some other MVP movement in the National League too I want to bring attention to. Olsen also hit 2 home runs for the Braves yesterday. Bobby Witt hit 2 home runs. So lots of double dongs here hanging out for a lot of the guys in Major League Baseball. Freddie Freeman had 5 ribbies in a big win there for them. This is how you win without Mookie Betts. Freddie Freeman has to step up into that void. Jorge Alfaro stepped up, had a walk-off hit to give San Diego a Major League leading 8th extra inning win. And I feel like sometimes, Welsh, when you have these teams that win extra inning games, you've seen this with certain teams in the past, they start to think that they're invincible. That's a really dangerous thing for a team that's got as pitching rich of a rotation as the Padres are. When they believe that they can win any game, that it's all going to bounce their way, typically mentally it starts to work out that way.
Yeah, I mean, and also like they had to lean on the pitching more than anything else. Like I'm not sure if they're going to walk away with confidence, like, haha, don't worry, in the later innings, we've got Jorge Alfaro, everybody. Like, I don't think that's exactly going to be it. But I will tell you, Alfaro's actually been pretty solid. I actually picked him up. I put him in on one of my few waivers over, I think it was on Tout this past weekend in these 2 catcher leagues. The only 2 catcher leagues I play in are the 2 industry ones. Funny how that goes, isn't it, too, by the way, Joe? I just want to point out that everybody talks about
sets the standard of what everybody is playing, except the fact that they still play 2 catcher leagues, and they're just dead.
I was going to say, I'm in like 11 leagues, and the only 2 that I'm playing in are the industry leagues that like the 2 catchers. I hate 2 catchers. I hate 1 catcher leagues, to be honest with you. So I got to play in these 2 catcher leagues, and Jorge Alfaro is a relatively intriguing guy because he's more and more, and he can also play some other positions. He's more and more been the guy that they've leaned on, and continuously keeps going.
The lack of evolution in some of those formats, I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand. We decided this 25 years ago, so therefore this has to be the standard of how we do it forever and ever.
Well, I mean, it is the epitome of baseball. Let's just point that out for a minute. Like, the fantasy baseball industry has so many elements of real baseball in lack of innovation, getting mad about anything new and saying this is the only way to do it because
so the unwritten rules of fantasy is 2 catcher leagues. Is that it?
I guess, yeah, 100%. Like, you got to have that. Yeah. There's a few other ones, but we'll do that off here.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, a few other ones for sure. All right, more headlines here. Zach Gallen struck out 11. If only there was a show, Welsh, yesterday that told you to smash the over on the K prop. Oh, wait, it was this show. Oh, what a wonderful time to be alive. George Springer had an elbow issue. He will not play today. Marco Gonzalez was good against the A's over 7 innings. And Nolan Gorman, 4 for 4 with 2 homers. Lots of double dingers yesterday. And everybody had Trout, including me. And of course, Ohtani was the guy to do it. So,
I want to point
crazy
out,
stuff there.
Can you imagine being that, how awesome that Angel game would be to be at too? It's like 2 Ohtani homers, 2 Witt homers. I was trying, but I cannot find it, at least over on DraftKings. Just wanted to do a little peeky peek since I know we're going to be looking at some future award bets. Just a rookie of the year, just to see where it sits. I mean, Julio keeps doing what he's doing, but I don't know, Bobby Witt having his first multi-hit homer. Just curious if the gap closed a little bit. Pena's on the IL. That gap closing at all? Witt do anything for you? I don't know what the number is, though. I can't find it.
I will tell you the number. I will get it for you on bettingpros.com. I'll get the consensus line. It's still Julio for me. But look, Bobby Witt, I think I still have my Bobby Witt share. I did not cash it in because it was too good to cash in. I figured, well, let me hedge myself just a little bit on that one. Speaking of injuries, though, too, just so everybody knows, Sal Perez left the game, re-aggravated a thumb injury. That's not good. It's very frustrating. And Fernando Tatis Jr. is beginning the dry swings. Now, I did a video yesterday about the buy lows and the sell highs, and one of them was Tatis because I felt like this is your window. I know Welsh and I talked about it. I think it was you and I. It could have been Bogman yesterday. I'm not sure. It all kind of runs together, but this is kind of your window to buy Tatis because if somebody paid a little bit too much for him and they've been waiting and waiting, they're getting frustrated, and maybe it's hurt them. Maybe it's hurt their roster construction. It's a perfect time to say, let's pluck him off there. Maybe you have him back in 3 to 4 weeks on your team, and you might be able to get him for, I don't know. I mean, maybe a Gleyber Torres gets it done or something like that. I'm just saying, like, some teams that spent too much draft capital early on Tatis might be hurting, and the lower end of the timetable or the original expected timetable might be frustrating to them.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's that in general might be a reach in a lot of leagues, especially like the ones that I would play in. I don't think anybody at this point, especially when there's any type of like positive, even if there's no positive or a little positive, as long as there's no negative, no one's really going to move off of him. I think the way you do trade for him, though, is you've got to be the person that takes a hot now piece and move it. You can't trade like an underperformer. You can't trade kind of a boring player. You'd have to trade, like, what popped in my head was like a John Birdie and maybe another little piece. You do something like that, a guy who's stealing bases like crazy, or maybe Birdie in general, because someone's like, you know what? Guy looks like he's going to keep going. He's at the top of the stolen base marker. Screw it. I don't need to worry about this. I think it has to be something you're a little uncomfortable moving. But at the end of the day, I totally agree. I'm going to try whatever I can to do with Fernando Tatis. He was seen doing some swings, and it looked like I don't know if you saw the video that was out there. It was like some weird VIP BP room. It didn't look like a normal batting practice room.
Was there champagne? Was the
champagne? It did. Honestly, it looked like there might have been a cover to get into the back of that room. And he was taking some swings with a bat. And that's a good sign. It's a really, really great sign post All-Star break. Watch out for him. If you can trade for Tatis, you absolutely should. I think it's just a lot harder than it's conceptualized.
What was that phrase you coined at the beginning of the Tatis rant you just went on? Hot young what?
Hot guys? Hot guys.
Something. Hot guys with something.
Hot guy.
Legit hot guys? Is that what it was? That's what Welsh was.
Yeah. Like a legit hot guy, like a real hot guy. Because like Gleyber isn't like the hot dude. You got to get like someone
legit hot guy. That's what you need. Call like this number right now.
Like a real hot guy, Joe.
Do you want to talk to legit hot guys? Call this number. All right. I do have your number, by the way, of the rookie of the year. You want to take a guess before I tell you what it is on Bobby Witt? What the consensus number is?
If I remember correctly, last time it was like 125 Julio, 900 Witt. Is it like 150, 700?
It is 550 Bobby Witt in the consensus line. 800 still in one spot, though. On Fox Bet, you could get it 800. For Julio, it's even money. Even minus on BetMGM. So you're already minus 125 there. So, Bobby Witt's definitely closed the gap, but it's certainly still a gap. I guess that's the point to make when it comes to that. I think it's still Julio's award to lose, but look, Bobby Witt's making it a run, that's for sure. And in the National League, the National League is still, kind of the same. Nolan Gorman's worked his way up now to 5-1. Mackenzie Gore's a 4-1. It would not shock me if Gorman went past him in the next couple weeks. Your boy Spencer Strider is up to 650 though. That's one that's really intriguing right now that I think has kind of the bullet, like you have the little thing attached to it with the little upscale, whatever, like the little arrow going up thing. Strider's the one for me that's kind of got that right now that I'm fascinated by. And National League Rookie of the Year, I have not made an investment outside of Hunter Green, which I still don't understand why he doesn't have better numbers than he does right now.
I'm curious what his numbers, because I love Spencer Strider. I really do, but he got lit up the other night. Gores got lit up a little bit. They're getting figured out a tiny bit. That's what makes these pitchers so tough. Green.
50-1 right now. I don't
50-1.
50-1.
Who the hell's number one?
No, I'm just saying he's 50-1. Number one is still Mackenzie Gore.
Gore, really?
50-1. I mean, Kybert Ruiz has a better number than Hunter Green.
Who's the top hitter? Who's the top hitter?
Nolan Gorman right now on the National League side.
Who's the second?
Anyo Cruz, who's been up for 2 days.
I hate them all. Yeah, no, I don't.
That's why I keep saying Hunter Green is his long shot of all long shots. I mean, geez,
I kind of like the Hunter Green. See what happens. Yeah, Nolan Gorman is interesting. The Green one is interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's a crapshoot.
Look at this. So yeah, we have the number here. JP posted here on the
Joe,
YouTube
want
channel.
You to call 1-800 hot guys for your pickup.
Cousin Don checks in and goes, "Stop calling me. I'm not going to answer." Basically, is what Cousin Don says. So, all right, let's get to. Can we talk about this? So let's talk about Shohei Ohtani's number, which I went on my little rant 2 Fridays ago about. Let's cash out at the 3-1 and let's wait for it. Let's invest in Judge just to hedge our bets there a little bit, and let's see this Ohtani number. Now the Ohtani number consensus is at 5-1. That's this morning. Okay, so some spots where it's still 450. Of course, my spot FanDuel or I bet it's 450, right? But you can get it at 500 still over at BetMGM. Now, this is the time where tonight he has a big start. So Welsh, I'm going to put this out there to you. If he has the big start today, what's that number tomorrow?
I think it goes down to 400. I really do. I don't know the big movement, 450, 400, something like that. Yeah, I mean, as like a preview, I think he's really interesting on the betting market tonight too, because you know, the numbers are kind of usual Ohtani numbers. He's coming off of that incredibly big game. I don't know. Also, you know, there's that little part of me why this feels like one of those games where Ohtani could strike out 10 in like 5 innings, because, you know, also like not pulling off these games in the win streak, having 8 RBI. This feels like one where Ohtani pulls back and goes, yeah, I think these numbers go up. If you all subscribe to the dual player theory here, where it's no matter what all these other guys do, this dual player, if they can get hot, is the unanimous MVP, then this is the time to bet before you start losing some odds. And like, if I actually think one of the best places to do it is like FanDuel, what we talked about, where you can buy out equity at any time. So go do it right now. It probably moves up. And if you're not really a risker, you probably can make a couple bucks as it goes up. I don't, you know, it's all going to be dependent on how
if you invest
bet.
$10 in
it out.
If you invest $10 in it and this number goes to 2.5 over the next month, you're probably going to make $15 off this, at least, maybe even 20. I mean, just this is it's a stupid fun thing, but you know, it's like, hey, if I put in a $5 lineup in DFS and I don't win, I get mad. But if I put a $5 lineup in a couple weeks, I get, you know, $25 back. Like that's good. That's
ultimately,
you know?
What's so tough about them is like they've got to win games. They can't be this big old loser team. They've got to like keep winning. You can't keep losing games to the Royals and stuff, and that's going to hold him back, I think, more than his numbers. I think at the end of the day, let me just point this out. Let's just hypothetically say someone else wins it. Who's the favorite right now? It's not Machado.
It's Judge still at minus 105.
Or
consensus betting personally.
Okay, let's say Judge. Let's go with Judge here. Let's say Judge wins it. I think at the end of the year, we will go back and we will look at Judge's numbers. We'll compare them against Ohtani's, and we'll go, man, Ohtani really deserved this. Like from a statistical standpoint, like you don't want to take it away from Judge. Judge won it. He had whatever he's going to have, 50 homers and stuff, but we could probably easily make the case Ohtani, regardless. I'm even saying if he goes crazy hot or not, we will look at those numbers and we will say it is hard that we took this away from him. And the deciding factors will be maybe some of those streaks and the team context. I really don't think it's going to be about Judge or whoever is the guy that wins it. I don't think it's going to ultimately be that those numbers are so much better, because I think that's impossible based on the hitting and pitching for Ohtani.
I'm slightly annoyed because I wanted this number to get to like 7 before I could go back in because of what he did last night. And he has a start directly after that lines up really well. I think this is the window. This is the window to go back in on Ohtani at 5-1. And I'm going to do it today, right after the show. I'm a man of my word. I always am. If I'm saying bet it, that's because I'm betting it. Like a lot of other people that say, you know, don't do it. And I'm not saying you have to do a lot. You can put $5 on this thing just for S's and G's and have fun with it. And maybe you win it. Who knows?
Funsies.
Another number that's moved considerably. Last week, Pete Alonso was 12-1. for MVP. You want to take a guess what he is now?
I saw it, so I know.
Oh, you saw it already.
Exactly,
6-1 right now, plus 600. So this was another dude too. I said Jose Ramirez and Pete Alonso are the two guys I don't understand why they're still in double digits, because they are single-handedly carrying these teams, I feel like, most nights.
Yeah.
And Alonso, again, that New York media, it's a media award. I think Alonso is really in this race. I really do. I think he's fascinating. I think this might be the last time. If it goes to 5, I think that's when I'm starting like, okay, now you really got to take it seriously. But I don't know, man. It's just starting to feel like Pete Alonso. He's so liked too. He's so well liked by, I think, so much, in terms of other players in the media. And if you think that stuff doesn't matter, it does, because at the end of the day, Machado's not liked. Machado it rubs people the wrong way.
I think it's impossible for him to win this. I think impossible for
it might be
first baseman to win this. This would be the prime example. Again, not everybody gets
why
this.
Is it why? Because I like Goldschmidt. He's a first baseman. Why can't Paul Goldschmidt win it?
You know what? I also think it's a hard road, but I think it's a hard road for a guy like him as well. They're completely different players, I think, in like a context standpoint. It's a good point. I wasn't even thinking about Goldie when I was with that. But I think it's hard to put the guy that's hitting like 270, as the winner, 260, 270, ultimately when they finish with it. What I was going to say is not every book gets to do this, but this would be the prime example of me cashing out. If I had gotten Alonso at 12-1 and he was now 6-1, this would be cash out city.
That's fair.
I would take my profits and move on, because I do not believe I do not believe he will win this award.
All right, let's go to something that's I know rubbed Mike Mayer wrong yesterday. So I don't know if you guys have seen this. If not, run to Twitter, because last night wasn't the only thing going on with Shohei Ohtani in Anaheim. It was also a fan caught a ball out there in the outfield, gave it to a kid. Everyone, he gave it to the kid. Oh, Ray. So Mike Mayer is already miserable. Then later in the same game, this kid catches a ball that I think the outfielder threw it out there to him, and the kid caught it. And the kid turned around and gave that ball to the grown-up. Just a beautiful moment that everybody loves. It's on the Twitter machine. It's all over. And Mike Mayer is throwing things. He is so upset. He's trying to have the stream cut right now. Chris, cut the stream. No, we're not cutting the stream. I want everybody in the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks to tell me, is that a feel-good moment because the kid gave the adult a ball back, or is it all just miserable like Mike Mayer? I want to know for sure. I want to know how you feel about this. I want Mike Mayer to step aside from the fieldings machine. Chris Welsh, how do you feel about this moment that has gone viral and that everybody loves? I love it. I think it's nice. Mike Mayer hates it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love those moments. I'm here for them when people also I go to like complex level ball, so there's like 20 people there at the most or something like that, and the kids are running for baseballs. It's so cool when I've given multiple kids baseballs as they've been hit near me and stuff like that, and it's always cool. But it is ingrained in me now and built into me that it's like, how much is this hurting Mike Mayer happiness? How much is happiness with baseball? You see that moment where the kid forced his dad to go to, I think it was either yesterday or Father's Day. The kid forced his dad to go see the Nationals. They had seats in the upper deck, and he's like, "Dad, Soto is going to hit a homer towards us." And his dad almost didn't go. The ball hit. The dad got the homer. They put them on video, and I was like, man, this is such an awesome moment. But then I was like, I wonder how much Mike Mayer's mad that the son did happiness for the dad, and it had to do with the baseball and stuff.
I did happiness for you, father. Oh, that made me smile. Also made me smile and also kind of terrified is somebody posted something on Twitter too of Kyle Farnsworth, who is just like absolutely jacked now. I don't know if you've seen this picture I put in the show sheet. Holy crap. Dude. Kyle Farnsworth looks like, oh my goodness. He looks like he ate Yandy Diaz and then like made him into a protein shake or something. The guy's massive.
He's wacko. There's something also like as a fat guy, like fat guys unclothed are not pretty, but like really weirdly jacked up dudes are also terrifying to look at. There's so much about this picture. His right arm looks half the size. He's got little squirrel ankles with these big giant. Everything about it is terrifying. It's not a good look. And Kyle Farnsworth is also just, I think, a total monster. The John Boy side by side is relatively scary as well. Like 7 years ago, he just looked
Yeah.
like a dude, and now he absolutely looks like a villain. He looks like a
the
villain
Hulk.
from he looks like from The Boys. Yeah,
Oh,
he
God,
looks
The
he
Boys.
looks like he looks like The Boys alternate Hulk character.
Boys has been so good. Oh my God, this
Yeah,
new
of
season.
course.
If you haven't watched The Boys, you got to watch The Boys. It's just
Yeah.
fantastic. All right, fun facts here. Shohei Ohtani is the only major league player to drive in 8+ runs and yet have his team never hold the lead in a game since RBI became an official stat in 1920. So how you like them apples? Also, got a trivia question based on Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani became the first player born in Japan to record 8 RBI in a single game. Which 2 players did he surpass? So who had more RBI? They were tied with the same amount before Shohei Ohtani broke this number with 8. If you think you know the answer, go ahead, drop it in the chat here, and I will tell you. Again, you have to be a subscriber to Fantasy Pros MLB in order to answer that question. So there you go. Who was the last Japanese players? There was 2 of them. One's a bigger name, one is less of a bigger name, who had a giant RBI game just like Ohtani. And it's not this guy that every time I say his name, Mike Mayer says we're gonna have to cut the stream, like, because he says I say it weird. But it's Kasuke Fukudome.
Fukudome. I didn't say that weird. I was actually getting ready to be nervous. You said that right, Fukudome.
The JP wants to know The Boys or Last Kingdom. Last Kingdom is great. You need to watch Last Kingdom. The Boys is fun. It's brilliant, but The Boys is definitely worth a watch. No, it is not Ichiro, by the way, too. That is not the answer to the question. A couple fun things, though, this day in baseball, Welsh, real quick. So this was fun. In 1947, Ewell Blackwell just misses pitching back-to-back no-hitters when Eddie Stanky of the Brooklyn Dodgers singles. And I just thought Stanky would be such a great name now. Like, because, everyone was like, Eddie put some stank on that one. Like, that would be... Like, he would be a...
Surprised it's not like a
nickname.
Phenomenal. Like Rowdy.
Stank.
They get a couple of these guys like a Rowdy to get like a Stank. Yeah,
Stank Johnson. 1987, Tom Seaver abandoned his comeback. A lot of people forgot in 87. He almost came back because the Mets had so many injuries. One more run, but he decided to call it quits. And in 1990, the Braves fired their manager, Russ Nixon, and replaced him with the general manager. So the general manager came down, replaced Russ Nixon, I should say, with himself, Bobby Cox. And that ended up working out pretty well for the Braves last time I checked. I thought that was pretty cool. That was an all right decision. One of the names, do we have any of the names yet? One is correct here. Mike O'Neill has one of them. Hideki Matsui is one. Hisop Choi is not. That is not correct. But we do have the other one. I'm going to give people another minute or two to figure it out.
Was it G-Man? Didn't he just have one?
No. Again, it's the key here is born in Japan.
Oh,
born in Japan. So just because the player is Asian, again.
Well, I just
from Japan.
I'm throwing darts here, man. I'm throwing darts. I don't know.
Yeah, moving on. All right, here we go. Stat heroes from last night. Dylan Cease, 11 Ks. I was afraid of Dylan Cease. Clearly, I should not have been. No earned run, 6 innings for him. Urquidy, 5 Ks over 6, 1 earned. Eric Fede, 6 innings for him, no earned runs, 4 Ks. Zach Gallen was brilliant. Martin Perez continues to be awesome, which also makes Mike Mayer very unhappy. 6 innings, 6 Ks for him. Sean Manaea, 2 earned runs in 6 innings with 6 Ks. Marco Gonzalez, 7 strong innings, 2 earned, but just 2 strikeouts. Isaac Paredes, 3 for 3 with 3 bombs.
Isak.
Perfect night for him. I'm sure everybody had him in the home run contest.
It's actually Isak Paredes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Isak. That's correct.
Of course. It looks like Isaac,
Isak
but of
Paredes.
course it's Isak.
Stank.
We all know it. Stank Paredes. That's it.
Stank Paredes had 3 bombs yesterday. Nolan Gorman had 2. Ohtani had 2. Bobby Witt had 2. Carlos Santana had 1. Carlos Santana, boy, he hasn't been on this sheet all year, has he? Matt Olson had 2. Freddie Freeman, 3 for 4 with 5 ribbies. Jared Walsh had a home run. He had a nice game there, 3 for 6. And then Ryan McMahon, 3 for 4 with a homer as well. Stat zeros, Spencer Strider, 6 earned runs, only 4 Ks. So I still say you watch him in the Rookie of the Year thing and see how this goes, but it was not a good night for Strider. Let's be honest, right, Welsh?
Wasn't good. No, love my Strider. Love betting the prop over. He's just inconsistent, but now it does make me feel like he's been doing the every other game type of thing. So next week or next start, I'm 100%, 1000% betting his over on Ks and expect him to go 6 and strike out 11.
Yeah, probably. Reed Detmers, 5 earned run, 5 innings. Desclafani, 5 earned in 3, and Nestor Cortez, 4 earned in 4 1/3. So is this the Nestor Cortez thing starting to fade now? Are we in the All right, he's come back down to earth now, and this is not exactly the same guy was a month ago because he was
No, I don't.
he was on such a run, and I would say what now? 2 of the last 4 starts have been less than thrilling. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I have to be very careful about this because Nestor is one of those guys that I wasn't in love with coming in. I just didn't think he had great overpowering stuff, but he is a master of command. He keeps pitchers off. He'll change up his pitch rotation of how he's doing it. He's sneaky, control across the zone, and he's still got pretty good stuff. So I want to be dicey about it because never did I think he would be as high valued as he currently is. So now that he's struggling, I don't want to be like, yeah, get him out of here. He's gone. So no, I don't think so. This also wasn't really necessarily a blow up. He gave up 2 back-to-back jacks, which I don't think he had done all year. I think I would
Jay Full just brought it up here, and I was going to ask you, is this the time to buy low on Cortez? Because I feel like this is it.
I think so. I think this would be the opportunity, especially because you just asked a question. You're like, hey, is this the time that we're kind of done with him? That there could be panic in the
Not
street?
done, but like that we say, okay, he is not one of the best pitchers in the league, even though he was pitching like that for a month. But this is just normal. I mean, these things happen. The guys aren't going to pitch at 1 ERAs all year. There's going to be some down spots. It's always, it's very rare you get somebody who goes for a sub 2 ERA for an entire season, even nowadays. But
and also in New York, like the sustainability of being able to continue do that throughout the season in a ballpark that is this tiny little box that, you and I could probably hit a homer. We have to have a pull side.
Oh, I can hit a home run at Yankee Stadium. I have 100% confidence in my ability to do that. Here's a question. Who would you rather have rest of the season? Would you rather have Carlos Rodon or Nestor Cortez?
Ooh, I would go Nestor.
I think I would go Nestor as well. Okay. Well, the home road splits for Rodon have not been great. The home guys 2 ERA and the road guys like 4 and change. So
there's also a kind of a continued massive injury risk that kind of follows Rodon for the rest of the season as well that I don't think follows Cortez. So, not that, again, that you would do a trade like that. Now that you would trade Rodon for Cortez, it's weird, but I would if given the opportunity. Absolutely.
All right, let's give you the answer to the trivia question because you guys are not going to get it. It's Tadahito Iguchi.
Of course, Tadahito.
Who had 7. Well, I remember Iguchi. By the way, Shogo Akiyama went back to Japan. Did you see that?
I know Akiyama.
Chris has a whole Shogo Akiyama song, and if you haven't heard it, gives you just a little bit. Gives you started.
I did Shogo Akiyama. Yo mama Shogo. Yeah, that's it. There's the whole song. That's on there. The YouTube video is still out there. You have to do some searching. I'm a little disappointed because a dream, we had the spring training of dreams where I got to take pictures with Blake Snell, and I'm over here with Lance Lynn. Shogo was on there. We wanted to get to Shogo pretty bad to see if I could get in front of him and maybe even play the song, and him just probably look at me and call security, but it didn't happen.
Look at you, call security. That's good. All right, the leather zeros here yesterday, just to reflect through the guys real quick who were bad. Austin Hayes 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Byron Buxton 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. When Buxton's bad, he's so bad. Let me tell you. When he's good, he's great. And when he's bad, he's awful. Like, there's no in between. You got to respect that. You got to respect the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I had a tweet this weekend real quick just on Buxton. So it's not quite as relevant because it's 3 or 4 days out. It was in the midst while I was out doing some camping and sharing some stuff with everybody. The only baseball tweet I had over the weekend, I decided I made a Buxton tweet, and it was players that had double their home run over they had double the homers over doubles. Sorry, I'm using that word. 2 times homers over doubles. So they had 10 doubles, they'd have 20 homers. Only 6 guys, and this had to be a minimum of 10 homers. Only 6 guys made that list who had more than double homers over doubles. Judge, Alonso, Buxton, Alvarez, Vlad, and Stanton were the only group. Buxton was doing this with a 211 BABIP at that time. The other second lowest of the group was 270 in Vlad. Also, of qualified hitters, Buxton was 9th in slugging and 11th in hard hit. And the whole point was, look at these prolific power guys over their doubles and how the names are all great, but Buxton is doing it at just a ridiculously dumb clip of lack of success. But the BABIP's got to get better. but he's also a dude. I think he has more homers than singles at this point. So
Oh,
it is frustrating. He's frustrating. He is.
That hurt my soul. That statistic.
Yeah, when you said it, when
that.
he's bad, he's so bad right now. I don't understand it. But when he's good, he's one of the best players in baseball. And he also has so much underlying that it's like, my God, buy on the future of Buxton. But he is an enigma.
Right now. Frenchie Cordero 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. Miles Straw, Teoscar Hernandez, Ramon Laureano, Francisco Lindor, and Trent Grisham, Gio Urshela, all 0 for with 3 Ks as well. So bad days for them. Let's get to BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Bet $10, win $200 on any game, regardless of the outcome. When you sign up today and download the BetMGM app, go to betmgm.com. Enter the promo code leading off. Against one word, leading off. Bet $10, win $200. Take that 200. Put some on Ohtani for MVP. And there you go. That's how you do that bad boy. Tonight, don't love a lot of the props tonight. I got to be honest. The first time in a while, it's been a really good run here. Last night was very good for us. Rafael Devers at 1.5 total bases here at plus 115. That's on DK. JD Martinez is getting even money on the total bases at 1.5. It's against Tariq Skubal. That's why I don't love it. But still, I mean, 1.5 at even money or plus is pretty good on those guys. And then Freddie Freeman, even money on him too on DK at 1.5. But you have Tyler Anderson. That's a guy that you thought was an interesting one today, right?
Yeah, the only two that I found so far, the strikeout numbers, 4.5 for Tyler Anderson. I like that. He's hit that number in 7 of his last 8 games. So, him and Gonsolin have just been strikeout guys, and I've bet Anderson a couple times, and it's paid. So we only got to get to 5. And like I said, 7 of the last 8 games, he has hit that. And then Luis Robert, total bases, which he's right around even money, around 115, maybe a little bit more juiced. And he has hit that in 6 of his last 8 games. He's had 2 or more total bases. And I believe he's on like a 15-game hit streak. 4 straight have been over 2 total bases. So like Luis Robert, like Tyler Anderson, those are my 2 bets right now. It's kind of a weird slate to the week. I don't love strikeout props are difficult. The other one that we talked about him earlier, and I'm completely forgetting who it was. The near the top. Oh, who was it? I'll come back to it. But as far as like, Shohei Ohtani, the Shohei Ohtani at 6.5. I'd be very tempted to take that tonight as well, because I think he's going to shove.
Tariq Skubal 9.2 over on DK. Tough assignment though in Boston, so I'm a little sketch on that. Jordan Montgomery at 7.4. I like that one a lot, especially against Boz, because he's been struggling a little bit since he came back. Ohtani's at 8.5. Adam Wainwright 7.6, Charlie Morton on the other side of Rodon. And again, I think in tournaments, Charlie Morton should be looked at because Rodon has not been good on the road this year. So you can go Montgomery and Ohtani, very cost effective. You can go really cheap on DK, Wainwright, Montgomery, and just load up on offense. I think that's the approach I want to do tonight. On FanDuel, single pitcher site, you see the price variance too. Montgomery is 9.1 on FanDuel. Whenever you see a $2,000 gap in pitchers, that means you should be starting that pitcher in that other place. I'm telling you right now, there's something's off with the algorithm there. They're not taking enough into account. Ohtani's all the way at 10K. So once again, you're getting a massive discount on DK tonight, which is wrong.
I want to throw in with you and look to your point real quick. Look at Wainwright. He's almost the same price on both sites, where you just pointed out Montgomery is almost a 2K difference between the two sites. That's really
and Ohtani $1,500 difference. Yeah. Look, and usually FanDuel is the one that's looser. Tonight, DK is looser. And look, in terms of looking for, if you're looking for lineup builders tonight, I'd go into this Chicago-Pittsburgh game. You got Eichhoff and Keegan Thompson. You might as well have Keenan Thompson pitching. And you're looking at all these guys are cheap. Sawinski's 2.2. You got Chavis at 2.6, Aniel Cruz at 2.7. These are all on DK prices too, by the way. You could even go in Ian Happ is 3.5, Wisdom's 3.5. That's the game to get some cheap guys in there. But if you're having the cheap pitchers on DK that we just told you, you can get a lot there. I've struggled all day with my home run call. Finally, I'm just going to let it ride with Mike Trout tonight again against the lefty. So I'm just not going to. Everybody had Trout last night. We were wrong. I think everyone's going to get off of it. I'm going to stay on it, and I'm going to see what happens. Where are you going for your home run call tonight? Well,
I'm going to go with the guy I just talked about in the props. I'm going to go with Luis Robert, who has been hitting pretty well. It's not a big matchup of like BVP or anything like that, but I think Robert has been doing really well. And by the way, Mike Mayer going to probably pull the I didn't look at the sheet bit, because he's just going with Trout with you. You both have Trout, so you guys are
that's going to make him even
tonight.
More irritated. Oh,
yeah,
good.
I don't know. Yeah,
I didn't even realize that he's got Trout too. So
yeah,
I got Trout,
too.
He's got Trout. So if we both are right, all we do is we both move up. So there you go. Checkmate, my friend. That's right. That's right. Perhaps. So fun show, obviously. as always. And yeah, Mayor, I'm copying you. That's what I'm doing. I had it yesterday. I'm just letting it ride. Please. This is the guy who had Reese Hoskins for 3 weeks in this sheet, for God's sakes. God, he's the worst. Anyway, if you catch a ball, make sure if you're out of the game tonight, you give it to a kid, you take a video and send it to us at Fantasy Pros and at Fantasy Pros MLB. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel and go make your wagers over at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. And when you do, use that promo code leading off. That'll do it for me in the Welsh, but the story of the game goes on. We'll see you next time, kids.